tonight.
Okay. Fair enough.
I was checking one thing because I realized that I connected Twitch and I wanted to see if that shows up because that I wasn't intending to put the podcast on Twitch, and it I guess it does do that.
Just natively.
Do people put podcasts on Twitch?
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
There's a whole section for like just chatting.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I didn't label everything properly for the Twitch, so I'm going to turn that one off.
Yeah, maybe we should start using that. I mean, now that we're going to have the overlay.
Yeah, you know what? Having a nice overlay really is what sets things apart for the Twitch.
Dude, but it's so nice here. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Real quick, I want to send you. I don't think it's the final one, but the last
final
preview. She sent me a video of the preview animations for it.
Oh. You did show me some of that before the show.
The video one?
No. Oh, yeah. I was looking at the one the other day because Rebecca sent me some of the chat overlay stuff when I was over at the car dealership getting my car looked at. But I think you probably have something separate that we were talking about.
How do can I forward this?
And shut that. No Twitch, I don't need you tonight. Maybe another night.
Oh, I didn't go in time.
No, thank you, Twitch. I'm very thankful for your services, though.
We are live on Kick, Rumble, and the YouTube.
Yeah, check this out.
Okay. I wish I could show this to. You know.
Oh man!
I
didn't hear the music last time.
I was shown this. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Let me just make sure that didn't screw up my the OBS. Okay, that's good. It's good.
That's so cool.
It is. It really is. I'm gonna start things off. So, as you might know, the Libsyn gives us the 3, 2, 1 count in for our recording. You know what? I think we should do more banter and like kind of casual chat when we start our streams before the actual recording of the podcast. It feels like
I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah,
it kind of gets you in the feel for it.
Yeah, you know, like I know we'd like to do the cold open thing, but
I mean, yeah, when we're kind of just sitting here chilling anyway.
Yeah,
like we were just talking about the campaign. Like that'd be good.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like some behind the scenes almost.
Yeah,
you guys get to see me hit a bowl before we.
Are you allowed to do that on? You know, I don't fucking care
anymore, man. They got like,
dude, they got tits on Kick. You can hit a bowl while talking D&D. I don't care.
Slightly lean to the right.
They actually did just change a lot of the like rules on Twitch about like topless streams as long as it's like properly tagged.
Oh yeah, you just got to tag that shit, bro. Like people need to know what they're getting into. You don't need a 4-year-old jumping on your Kick account being like, "Yo, what's going on in here? Hey, like that's not Blippy."
Like,
I remember when Kick used to be
porn. Like it's crazy.
I remember when Kick used to be just a chatting service. Now it's
Kick was never just a chatting service, man.
Okay, y'all ready for this?
I can't twerk. I'm sitting down.
And doctors for the ship don't just fall right out of the sky. Nope. Fall right out of the sky.
Is this like an intro to a song or something?
No, that's just what happened with our good friend Coda last session for our D&D campaign.
Oh, I mean, that is true. It sounded like you're about to start spitting like bars or something. I was ready.
Dude, I am too white to be spitting bars. I ain't no Eminem.
I mean, look.
One can only hope.
But yeah, that was did we record last session?
It is recorded. I haven't posted it yet because I am a video editing slob. I do not do those things very well. However, Coda, you said you were interested in learning on doing a few things like that for the show.
Yeah, I actually I will admit I've been a bit in the behind. A bit behind in that department, but I've been kind of researching on some editing techniques that a lot of typical streamers and YouTube people use. But yeah, I'm getting there.
Hey, it's a new year. Fresh skills.
Yeah,
You're new me.
I don't know about new me, but yeah.
Well,
It's a new
I
year.
know you've been working on the new you. When I was working on the, last year I was doing that job as a concrete scientist when I wasn't playing D&D on the weekends.
That sounds so fake.
I know it does.
A concrete scientist? I didn't know about this.
Well, basically,
made
I go around, check your concrete, make sure it's a quality concrete, and if we take some samples and bring it back to the lab and we test the concrete, and if it's good, cool. If it's not, it breaks at the wrong tensile strength, and then you got some issues, and we gotta let you know that your concrete is not up to standard. After our lab tests.
Isn't concrete like temperature sensitive? Like it'll explode at the high. Kind of
There
something?
are things, but like that. But for the most part, what we would do is we'd put it in a hydraulic press.
Ah, yeah, right. Just press.
I was the only person that would wear like safety glasses when we were doing that. Like everyone else is like, okay, just fuck it. If I lose an eye, I lose an eye. It's whatever.
Yeah, it's not like it's shooting shards of gravel.
It's not
or-
OSHA certified.
Dude, I think I might have been one of like 3 people there with an OSHA 10. But
Oh my god.
I used to see Coda like riding his bike like every now and then because he'd be not too far from the DOT lab when they contracted me out to do work for the DOT. We'd cut samples out of the road.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean, I was in a van, so you weren't going to be able to see me. But that's whatever.
You
True.
like cut out like a 4x4 square of somebody's driveway.
Just purposely making potholes.
a sample
just
right next to
in the
me,
middle.
but like
of there.
I guess I put them somewhere else.
Like, sorry, I just need to borrow this real quick.
No, you take like a cylinder, like they have like a little circular drill thing, and it's just like it burrows down into the road, and you pull it out, and like we did some of that stuff in Portland, and ended up with like cobblestone, tar, and stuff. Like you just see layers, so just over time.
You just see the aging of the paveway.
Now, speaking of layers, just like concrete, and just like an onion, we too have layers because we are also a podcast that we should probably get started.
We are a podcast about D&D, not roads. Let's start the show. I'm gonna lose my headset if I do that. I can't headbang like this. Can't work under these conditions. Hello and welcome to Dungeons and Talkshows, the talk show that brings you monsters, news, and bits of the road. I am your host, Orion.
And I am your host, Sam. Welcome. Happy holidays, everybody.
It's been an eventful holiday season, but hold on, let me check. Yep, all 10 fingers, toes. The in-laws didn't get me this time.
New year, new me.
Dude, if we're going to get new me, let's start with like dropping 50 pounds. That'd be a
Back
start.
to my bullshit.
He dropped double that, but I feel that.
You ride a bike, you're off to a good start, man.
Not in this weather. It is way too cold.
The year is starting off hot with people jumping judges,
I heard about that. I'm glad I'm not having that guy in my campaign. He jumped right over the DM screen at me.
He's like, "What do you mean critical fail?
You rolled a what?
In that one."
Oh my god.
He'd be having none of it. None of it.
What'd you say I rolled?
Yeah, this year's off to a great start. And my birthday's in like a week. Shit.
This is true. You know what?
Heck yeah.
I have a surprise for you, Sam. I just need to get around to sending it.
Sugoi.
I feel
Sugoi
that.
days.
Nice.
Dude, I am excited. Scrim-Bimbus, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to make my internet presence presentable.
Well, we all start somewhere, and for me, I start certainly below the bottom. And, just maybe somewhere under the Earth's crust. That's where I started.
Somewhere in the mantle.
Started
Yeah.
from the bottom, now we here.
A year later, dude. We've been doing this show for a whole year, and
We've been doing
it's
it
a
for-
wild
yeah.
experience. Next episode is episode 50, and like you said, that should be where our mark for milestones should be. I like
Yeah.
that.
So
Excited.
I really
Yeah, that's
want,
a good
you know,
spot.
we don't really get a whole lot of comments, and we get a few replies and stuff, but we really want people to, what do you want us to talk about, or what do you want us to do for this milestone episode? We could do like a Q&A, we play a game on stream, a watch party, anything.
I really am open to that. I was in the middle of setting up a thing that we'd be able to have viewer voicemails.
Yeah, like that's really cool.
I got to finish setting it up, but I like the idea of being able to have people just maybe talk about their campaigns. Maybe they got some questions, need some DM tips, player advice. How do I deal with X, Y, and Z? Now,
Yeah.
maybe we don't give the best advice, but something to think about.
Right?
It's advice that you can work on.
Like I've talked to some people, and they just want to know, like, what is D&D? How do you play? Like, what is it actually? What is
What's
the
a
game?
good way to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay, first
and,
off, it's actually a bunch of people that
Mhm.
never stopped playing pretend. But to
Pretty
make
much.
it, but we learned early on that saying I do this, well, actually, you don't do that because I had my
God.
anti this shield the entire time, and you cannot do that. Well, I had my anti shield this the entire time that deactivates your anti shield, and it's just like that got boring and repetitive. So, having grown up and learned from our playground mistakes, we found these little math rocks, dice. Now, we didn't want to get confused with gamblers, so
Not to also get confused with crack rocks, right?
Exactly. So we had to hit a happy medium with the D20. Now, you see, the early people, the cavemen of D&D, Gary Gygax and other war gamers of the like, decided that a D20 is, reasonable. A 1 in 20 chance is a 5% chance. That's very easy math. So you roll, boom, that's percentile. That's you can figure out percentages for anything at that point. And by having more than just the D6, people don't walk up and be like, you guys gambling? No. Dude, we're playing D&D. Oh, what's that? We're playing pretend, but we have rules and dice.
Basically.
We're playing pretend, but like adults.
Yeah. It's basically like if you want to do something, like say you want to climb a ladder, right? And you look at your stats. How well do you climb this ladder? You roll for it. So you get like a 10, right? You climb it like a basic person, no real struggle, no real, speed or specialty to it. Kind of depends.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are really getting into that ever since Baldur's Gate hit Game of the Year.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh yeah, Baldur's Gate has been a huge D&D getter inner.
Yeah, it's just like I love how they integrated the dice rolling into the game. It seems so basic, but being able to put the RNG in front of the player, that's nice. It's satisfying. You're like, you're held in anticipation every time.
It gives the immersiveness of actually kind of rolling a dice on the table.
Yeah, it's just like my fate lies right here. Now, you can undo that, like my wife tends to, by having saves. So you're like, oh, I better save before I roll this. That way, if I can undo that.
Cheater.
I
Lame
have been trying so hard not to save scum on my recent playthrough.
scumbag.
I've only done it like a handful of times.
It's one of
like
those
people
things
who-
where I'll do it on the condition that I'm only doing it to. I'll do it to make decisions that are just fucking around, but then I'll go back and then make my serious decision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like you kill an NPC real quick because they annoyed
I
you.
want to see. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, just real quick because they like said some bullshit. I'm gonna say
I'm a fireball this room and see what happens.
That was all the time in like Skyrim or Fallout. I'd be like, what happens if I light this room up real quick? Like
This really takes it to another level because you even get a narrator. Like, dude, the narration
yeah.
in Baldur's Gate really does give some of that dungeon master feel. And I can see why a lot of people were like, hey, I don't have a D&D group. I'm going to settle for Baldur's Gate as a supplemental D&D. And I have a buddy that he's been doing it for quite some time because he couldn't get a proper group together. And he's like, hey, it's the next best thing. And you know what? He's not far off, you know?
Man, it'd be so cool if like we had people using our server to run their campaigns and stuff.
Yeah, more than just us. We are open to having other people run campaigns and poach whatever players they want. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, like if you and your
server.
friends need like a platform to work from, we got resources, we got the websites, we got the servers. You know,
don't point them at the websites. I keep forgetting to finish that damn thing.
we got different stuff. It's fine.
We've got different outlets of media.
Yeah.
I mean, the website's functional. It's just like, it's very unpolished, and there are some things that are. Some things don't work. I'm a lazy motherfucker.
There's sometimes where I'm like, it's funny to think that like a group of people could just join and be like, "Hey, we all play D&D."
We do get people like that from time to time, and that's
like,
kind of how our
chat to use. So I'm like, yeah, here you go. Like, that'd be really cool.
My brother's going to be starting a Power Rangers campaign at some point soon.
Oh yeah, eventually.
Yeah, good old Power Rangers Las Vegas. Very anticipated.
I wonder what the rules for colors or choices will be.
The colors are basically your class.
Oh,
interesting. I would like black, please, naturally. Or silver, if there's like the metallic colors, you know.
So. Yeah, I think there's like the basic 6. So
I feel like blue would be like the natural.
I don't think I'm a Red Ranger boy. You know what I mean? Like I'm not team leader.
I sure as fuck don't have main character energy, so I'm not being a Red Ranger.
Red Ranger energy is major protagonist energy, and I'm not it, man. I'm not it.
I'm good with being like one of the. Oh, they're a different color. They're a little special. I guess they're not a part of the usual group.
I like the concept though, with him using Las Vegas as the play setting. Like the whole morph grid's been torn. Morphers are falling from the sky. Random denizens of Las Vegas are getting Power Ranger morphing abilities that have no right having them.
I get my abilities like in the middle of like a strip club lap dance.
You just morph into your power suit. Like, what the fuck?
Where'd my dick go?
Just out there dealing drugs on the corner. Yo, Armadillo Ranger. Huh.
You damn cop. Get him.
I'm not a cop. No. It's just a suit. It's just a suit.
Ranger, some kind of fed.
All Rangers are feds.
Oh my God.
I did recently see a video of somebody asking like a content creator if like, are the Power Rangers cops? And then he went through each series debating which ones are cops. Well, there is
one where they're literally cops.
Yeah, there is. That's SPD.
Yeah. Fucking space police.
And then there's Time Force, which
Yeah,
they're
like-
another
yes,
like
Time Force is very much, they
federation.
are time cops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think they
God,
leaned
Power
into that
Rangers is
angle
such a
enough,
good
though.
show.
Ryan, I got distracted and I did a thing, but I like.
What did you do?
It's a crow. Oh god, it's backwards. It's a crow necklace.
Ooh,
I
that,
like.
that is cool. I like that.
Threaded through my fingers.
I do
Anyway,
that shit all the time.
all the time. I'm just
Yeah.
a fiddler. People always are probably like, "Why is he always looking down?" It's because I'm fiddling around with my hands.
He fiddles.
Like-
Ah, damn.
It's better to be a fiddler than a diddler.
Next time in D&D, the party attacks all the diddlers
no,
with
no.
with the help of their bard, the fiddler.
Oh my god, the fiddler's revenge.
I'm just saying, like, people may not like some spicy content in their games, but everyone loves murder hoboing people that deserve it.
Yeah,
Right.
people will be like, "Oh, you did what?"
Dude,
You have what kind of backstory and you did what? I murdered thee.
the big bad evil guy is Jeffrey Epstein, and y'all have full paladin permission to nuke this island.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, some people need a power trip. Obviously, like, you just talk to your players before you do anything absurd like that. Like, we have talked about on the show where sometimes you just really have to set standards. This is what session 0 is for. What is okay in your campaign? We got a checklist right here. And most games I've been in, everybody's like, dude, throw it all out on the table. I don't fucking care. I'm gonna bulldoze through shit. And if things get dicey, things get spicy, let the dice fall where they may. But not every group's like that.
Right.
Do we really have a checklist?
I did ask everybody at the start, but everyone was
Oh,
so
yeah.
chill with everything that no one really thought about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was like, hey,
We all pretty much have like that dark humor, like don't really get offended type of energy.
well, it's
Yeah.
more fun that way, in my opinion. Because, like,
You get the raw humor.
Yeah.
yeah,
You don't get that like the PC, which I mean cool, but raw, unfiltered humor is
this is true.
Explicit.
Listen, there's a reason why people have made an entire living off of Hitler jokes. It's not because Hitler was a good guy. It's because it's fun to make fun of tragedies. This is how people laugh.
right. It's fun to make fun of bad things.
And personally, I would love to resurrect Hitler to make him look at how much of a joke he is, because that'd be hilarious.
It's like
Dude,
there's
imagine,
like a historical roast. Just like put him in a box and just be
dude,
like,
imagine like being like Vlad the Impaler, you know, coming back to life and then seeing all the memes that people make about you. Like,
Dude,
and all the like dramatizations that are in Hollywood.
resurrect Vlad the Impaler and watch him, make him watch Twilight. Be like, yo, dude, this is what people think about you, bro.
you inspired this genre of belief.
you made women love fae vampires. Congratulations. Y'all ain't even undead no more. It's all fae.
Have you seen that meme where it's like you can't kill yourself, you can't put this on it, but you have to eat it? Like, what do you do? Like,
All I know is I have a kid trying to break into my room while we're doing the show, and it's just like, come on, kid, stop.
here's Johnny.
Damn, bust down the door, child. Fine, come here. Come here. Yes,
We're
daddy.
20 minutes in, and people are probably like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, audio only listeners get to not have to see adorable baby attached to my hip once again.
Look, all of a reason, all the more reason for you to watch our streams. Sometimes there's a baby.
Sometimes there is. But you know what? Scrim, what is your general experience with D&D? Like, how'd you get into the hobby?
Honestly, you introduced me to it.
Really? I
Like,
thought you had been
Love
playing
it
way
when you
before
call
that.
me Big Pop, but
No, actually, I really hadn't been exposed much to D&D before I met you in Job Corps. So aside from that, like
Ugh,
I
of course.
yeah,
Shout out to Job Corps. Woo!
A lot of people
the
get
Changed
their
place
my
to
start
life.
shut up
playing
your
D&D in the most prison-like experience they can possibly have.
name, right?
Remember when
Like
we had
Look,
Heshi on?
it
He,
comes
he
full
first played
circle.
D&D in the Slammer, dude.
It comes full circle, man.
Yeah,
But
that's why. If I ever
yeah,
get jailed, I know what books I'm buying from the kiosk. Like,
Oh,
someone put
God.
money on the commissary because, I'm going to need a pencil. I'm going to need some
Oh,
stuff to
yeah.
make my own bootleg dice.
You gotta find some way to like fit in, man. like
You're going to fit in playing
provide
pretend with a bunch
something.
of criminals?
Yes. What else are they gonna do?
Exactly. No one would ever suspect.
but yeah, Clyde was one of my like
Clyde
first
Monkey
characters.
Man.
Yeah, Clyde
Yeah,
Monkey Man.
one of my first characters
Uh,
that I was really invested in.
Yeah, I remember he was heavily based off of like Michael Jackson's monkey.
Pretty much. He was a barred monkey, and his form of his media was dancing.
he was like
Yes.
it was kind of like the same race as like Wukong, right?
Yeah, it was in another One Piece style D&D campaign.
Yeah, like
Like,
and I was
I
amazed.
made my own homebrew world, but it had heavy One Piece influence where the planet was
is that the Acquisitions
basically
one?
like a kind of like I don't want to say a marble, but more like a bead, where like there was a hollow section that just kind of like it all goes in from the sides, and then
Was that the
it's
Acquisitions
big ass
Incorporated
like
one?
massive tunnel, and
It's like a
that
donut.
area is basically like the Grand Line, where interdimensional portals open up, and these multi-planar energies corrupt the island. So like maybe you go to one island and this island's very closely connected to the Nine Hells, while this other island is more closely connected to the Feywild. Or maybe another
Oh,
island is corrupted by the just so on and so forth, various
the
planes of
shit,
existence.
blah blah
So,
blah.
and then you can have like the traditional way of going in through either side via ship, or you could enter through the Underdark.
The butthole of the world.
The butthole.
Yeah, it's
Like
basically
the journey to the center of the earth.
Yeah, just imagine that, but like if it's just like a
Hollow Earth.
massive tunnel, like dude, hundreds of miles in diameter in any direction.
That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I felt
I
good
think
about
my
that world building.
I think my favorite moment from that is when I break danced against the mime.
Yes, you danced a mime out of his career, and we were using the Greek pantheon for the gods. So you slowly and like you kept every time you did something, you kept one-upping it with such high rolls that eventually
Everything
Dionysus is
just
like, "Hey, my guy, you're the life of the party."
yeah, and then I summoned a divine light and threw him like 30 feet,
Nice.
causing him to speak for the first time in 30 years, thus
You
being divorced by his wife.
Fucking broke his vow of silence. God damn.
he danced a mime out of a career.
We went on like a tangent of just demonstrating how a divorce would happen in mime.
Yeah. The tangents you go on in D&D, it really is part of the experience. One of those parts that you don't really capture in D&D simulating games like Baldur's Gate, unfortunately. But
Are you
I don't know
planning
how you
to
would capture that.
stream? Are you planning to stream or record next session?
Yeah, we will either stream or record. Bare minimum, I'm recording it as we're preparing to properly stream. I want things to be nice and presentable when we actually go for a full live stream.
Yeah. Oh yeah. To anyone who doesn't know, once we get the actual files and stuff, we got an overlay made for the One Piece campaign
We
by the
did.
lovely Rebecca, who created the One Piece icon.
Yeah, she did an amazing
Look
job
forward
with
to
that.
that. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, she's an amazing artist. Shout out to Rebecca.
Yeah, she's gonna be doing our banner too. for our social medias and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did my banner for my Twitch,
Nice.
Yeah, be
which
sure to
is also
plug that
One
at the
Piece
end of the
themed.
show.
Hell yeah.
So have you been doing the Twitch stuff long?
Not really. I've been doing it on and off for a little bit. I haven't logged in a lot of hours streaming, but I'm working on it.
Yeah. They say
Doing
the
it through
trick is consistency.
Yeah, doing it only through a console at the moment is a lot harder than through a PC because I have to stop the stream for one game, then start it again for another. While on a PC, I can just have OBS running and then
Yeah, just
switch
boom.
games.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
have that all
but
set to a button.
yeah, I'm currently building a better PC than the one I'm using right now. But when I get that up and running, hopefully I can actually start streaming on that and not just what I have for a console.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Right. I'm having a friend help me build it by recommending me parts, and then he sent me out a CPU.
Nice, nice.
So yeah, it's a process, a very painstakingly long and expensive process, but it's a
Hear that?
process.
There's certainly a lot of investing that goes into starting any kind of stream.
Oh yeah, but it'll be worth it. It'll definitely give me something to do when I'm not working.
Yeah, fair enough. A lot of people are trying to be like, okay, maybe if I strike it big on the internet, I can quit the day job. And like
Right.
ultimately all you get is I'm still working most of a part-time job or a full-time job.
Right.
It's not easy.
Oh no. Getting started is one of the harder parts, and then building a following. But as long as you go ahead.
Oh, I think doing it with the intention of, the money is a lot harder than doing it with the intention to create or entertain,
Yeah. Like doing it for the money is just kind of a greedy mindset.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And then,
I
mean,
mean, I don't
that
feel
never
comfortable
seems to
with
work
that, you
out
know?
that way.
It makes content feel forced and very ad heavy.
Yeah, people can tell when you don't really enjoy what you're making or what you're doing.
Right. It's definitely good to network yourself and interact with those that are welcome to you networking, and not just shamelessly plugging yourself in everybody's Twitch chat or Discord.
I hear that's effective though, and I'm just the kind of guy that I can't do that everywhere.
That's how all the bots find you, man.
Right.
I have this useless emotion in me called shame that prevents me from doing those things. Like we would probably be a lot bigger if I did.
We need to bring shame back.
Not enough shaming.
Yeah. We need to bring back shaming.
I wonder if we could make like a shame roll in D&D, like make a shame check.
Roll for shame.
I think the world would be a different place if people started shaming people again.
Yeah, I think shaming could be a type of a type of intimidation, maybe.
Yeah, I mean it's basically like mockery. Mockery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like vicious mockery.
Make
but
you
just
feel bad for yourself.
very, very rude.
And the enemy of this is that you have to make a wisdom save against being aware of yourself.
Or gain one
make a
round
self-awareness check.
Like, you become cursed with depression.
That'd function like fatigue.
Yeah, right.
Oh, damn.
All right, so
what do we got for the monster?
Oh, I was about to ask you about the news.
Okay, I can hit the news.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is TNM bringing you
Nerd News.
This week in Nerd News, Matt Colville, the internet's favorite dungeon master that isn't Matt Mercer. We got two major Matts in the DM playing field, guys.
Excuse me?
No,
What?
you don't know who Matt Colville is?
What do you mean? Matt Mercer isn't the only D&D man?
He's not the only D&D Matt.
Oh my god.
Oh
Sorry,
my God, there's more Matt.
I don't know why I'm saying that.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Matt Colville, the head of MCDM, he has a channel on YouTube, and basically his whole deal for years now has been teaching people how to play D&D, how to run the game, how to be a better player, how to be a better DM, talking about things on how to run games better, how to build better settings, even doing some actual play streams, which I believe one of them is called the Chains of Acheron. Very popular, and he's done a lot of big stuff. But this past year, because of the OGL debacle, and maybe just because he was a good game designer to begin with, and writer, so he's already got those two things under his belt. Him and a crew that he put together started making their own game, trying to be independent of D&D, like going beyond what all of D&D has become, so that they can make something that's not beholden to traditional D&D rules, like just something that can be as good, if not better. You know, creating a genuinely fun experience.
Right.
And recently, they've managed to get holy shit, 30,177 backers.
Damn, nice.
Yeah, for their crowdfunding. So that's pretty good. And that amounts to about 4.6 million raised.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Holy
right?
shit.
Like people have you ever heard of that many people dumping that much money into starting a new system? Like, you can't even say Pathfinder in a D&D anything
Oh
without
my
someone be like,
God.
no, I'm not changing. This is the rules I know. I'm staying right here. Like the full boomer
What can
attitude.
Dude, like
Dude.
what can't you do with that amount of money? Like you could create like a 3D Baldur's Gate of your own. Like
Well, maybe. But no,
Oh
this
my
is all pen
God.
and paper. This guy,
That's
I
crazy.
believe he had a little bit of a background in
Ouch.
actually working for, he worked for Wizards of the Coast for a while.
Okay.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, not up until recently, because obviously things have changed a lot. I think maybe things would be slightly better if he was in it, but I don't think he'd have any real power, because WotC is just they're beholden to Hasbro. What you gonna do, right?
Right.
Right. The whole Hasbro debacle.
Yeah, it's a lot. But hopefully things come out really well with their RPG. The MCDM RPG is, I'm really looking forward to see what comes out of their rules. I've heard a little bit of some stuff from there. I'm not going to go too into detail because Matt has expressly stated that a lot of those things are subject to change. Like how weapons work and whatnot, and the having classifications and certain abilities based off of weapon classifications. And I like that idea. You kind of see some stuff like that in other systems, and some things work better than other, but they're really trying to fine tune the best possible thing. So hopefully we can find someone that'd be willing to run something like that in our crew. That'd be really nice. I'd like to try that
That
out.
would be really cool.
And
I
then
would love if we had more people running more things.
Yeah, I'd like to see a couple campaigns going on in the server. We've had a few people volunteer, then they just kind of flake. And it's okay, you got your life. I get it.
Yeah, understandable.
I feel like I have a sense for storytelling, but I get off track and forgetful so many times that I feel like I just wouldn't have the attention span to DM.
It's a lot. Definitely sure.
I feel severely underprepared every time I run a game. We're going to be running a game tomorrow, and both of you know very well that I am just I'm underprepared, but I did pick up a book recently
Oh my
And
god!
you
You
know,
can
Jeff
read?
Ashworth does not miss, my guy. This is the the light is just awful
Look,
here, but
if a Lamar, what's his name, Lenar Burton or whatever, has
LeVar
taught me,
Burton.
and
Yeah.
if that man has taught me anything, it's that reading is key.
You know, take a look.
Reading
It's in a
Rainbow.
book. Not gonna say that
Reading
last line
Rainbow.
over on my end to send my wife into PTSD.
Rainbow. Sorry, go ahead.
Between that, she does not like reading Rainbow. I won't.
That was all I had to watch whenever
Oh,
I'd go to my
God.
grandmother's when I was younger.
Dude, me
Yeah,
too.
but
Because she just had
yeah.
basic cable.
I feel you. I too am a basic, not even a basic cable. It's just like whatever I could get the antenna to pick up. You know, that was my time.
Stay tuned to Dungeons and Talk shows where we talk about D&D, old TV shows, D&D campaigns.
Yeah, but if anyone wants to run their games a little bit more with proactive role playing, as the title of this book suggests, I highly recommend picking up the Game Master's Handbook of Proactive Role Playing. It has
Nice.
guides and strategies for running player-driven narratives for basically whatever system you want to run with.
What have you learned so far? Give us a little taste.
Okay, let me open up to like.
Oh, excuse me.
What the fuck was that?
I'm so sorry.
Honest, you know what? That
I'm so sorry. That came out of nowhere.
It's okay.
yeah, but a lot of the basic stuff is that focusing more on the players being active in the story as opposed to reactive. For example, your traditional plot for it's very effective. Most plots and stories have the main character being reactive to a situation, not actually pursuing things on their own out of the gate to push the story, but the narrative pushes the hero to push the story.
Mhm.
For
That's true.
example, like okay, in let's say Lord of the Rings, okay, evil entity got a ring of power. He wants it. It's been pushed into our protagonist's capable hands, and he must take this and bring it to the mountain and throw it into the mountain. Now, that's a very reactive story. The
Mhm.
protagonist has to
He's
decide
given
what
a
they're going to
task.
do. They have to, how do I deal with the situation at hand? Now, this can take form in, okay, maybe the princess has been kidnapped. She's been taken to this evil man's castle. What do you do? Well, obviously, we have to do something about it. Now, the inverse of that is something that's kind of exemplified. It even talks about it in the book. The concept of a evil campaign. Now, the reason that a evil campaign is so seductive for many people. I mean, how many times have you heard a bunch of players be like, "Hey, let's just run an evil game. We can be the
A few
villains."
times. I've heard it a few times. I'm always like someone who is more intrigued by the story of villains. Like
What caused them to be the villain that they are?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like why are they
the
the way that
backstories
they
are
are?
big for that. There, my door has been shut. So basically, the difference between your typical reactive hero and the typical villain campaign is that villains, they don't wait for a paladin to be like, I'm going to save the needy and save the poor, and we're going to have healthcare free for all. And then as a villain, you're like, oh, well, I can't let healthcare be free. I got to go stop this guy. No, that's not the plot. You don't start an evil campaign and be like, we got to stop them making healthcare free. No.
Absurd. How
No.
dare they?
I mean, maybe if you want a Doofenshmirtz style evil campaign that
I'm
Where-
gonna triple
Free healthcare
healthcare
in
for the
yeah, and unless your party has been raised by ocelots and their mothers didn't show up to their own birth, I don't think that's quite the way that you would run such a campaign. No, in a evil campaign, each of the players typically have their reasons, like you said, a backstory, why they want to be evil, and that's a driving force. One of the reasons why for our current campaign I wanted everyone to have a dream is for them to have a driving force. By having that driving force, that's something that you want to actively put into the world. Maybe someone in the campaign is like, hey, I want to be the best there is at this, and I am going to go out there and get this. I'm going to get this MacGuffin that I know about to achieve said goal. Or maybe, in the case of Scrim's character, he wants to go and rescue his kingdom. He is displaced from his kingdom, and he has to return to that kingdom to quell the revolution and set things right. Now, he's so far off from that he has to find a crew to get him there. And that's a whole journey in itself. He's got a long, overarching goal, and it takes a lot of effort for him to get to that point. And we're just starting out, but that right there is a big driving force.
Yeah.
I mean, the sky is really high up, and we got to find a way to get there. So
Exactly. He fell right out of the sky.
we got to
And
go up.
lived. Were you even like? Did you take damage from your fall? Or...
Oh, that's the cool thing. Like his race has slow fall, basic. I mean, like
Oh,
feather
Oh
fall.
yeah, Skypeans have like an innate feather fall.
makes sense. Makes sense.
They got
Since they
tiny
have
ass wings, so they can fall without taking damage.
Like hummingbird.
Yeah. Like
Interesting.
they can't full on fly, but they can fall okay.
I look forward to seeing
It's
your
like little
character.
Cupid wings.
Yeah, I really want to see your character art when to get it made and everything.
Yeah, we should have everyone's character art ready for the game. So
Then we got to
I'm really
get like
excited.
a group photo, all of them together.
Ah, yes,
Ooh,
that
yeah.
that I'd love to see.
Get wanted posters made for them.
Oh,
Hell
don't
yeah.
think I'm not thinking on that one. Wanted posters
I've
are going to
seen
be
the
a big thing.
websites for it. That'll be really fun.
Yeah. But like I said, the main thing is that with all of that stuff, you want the players to be actively wanting something and actively
Mhm.
going for something. So there's nothing wrong with having reactive plot lines for your players. You throw out plot hooks, maybe they bite here and there, but having active things that the players want, and even when there's nothing going on, they're out there pursuing those goals. That pushes a
Mhm.
story forward, no matter what.
Right.
True.
So
I was thinking, what is your character doing at this moment? Like, what are they up to? What are they thinking?
yeah,
What's on their mind? Like, do they have any goals for today? Like, stuff like that.
yeah, and
Right.
that's something that this book kind of. I wish I was sponsored by this book because I can't stop singing the praises because Jeff Ashworth does not miss, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm-
Shout out to them.
honestly, they had the foreword done by Jenny D, so that's neat. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. She does like D&D YouTube stuff.
I don't think so.
All right, so moving on to our other bit of nerd news this week. So Midjourney has been brought into the artist lawsuit that has now touched WotC again. Well,
Oh boy.
you didn't think they would go a week without being in the news, would you?
Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
It keeps
we just
going.
we just talked about this.
We did. Yeah, so basically the artist, this one's a little different than usual with WotC. The artists that have started a lawsuit with Midjourney have alleged that Midjourney has scraped copyrighted Magic the Gathering art to train AI. This does not surprise me in the sense that I would imagine a bunch of board members up top are scraping the art that they paid for with and that whatnot to be able to just run a bunch of that shit. Because although they say they're against AI and they're because the crowd is pressuring them, there's no way they're not just like, oh hey, we already own this stuff. We got the copyrights. We could just train that shit.
The power of efficiency, man. I think these companies really care who makes the art. Like,
As long as they can pump out as much artwork as they can, it doesn't.
yeah, bro. If it
doesn't matter who
passes,
does it.
and like now that they're only concerned because people are concerned. Like,
Yeah, it's one of those things where I used to hear this when I was a kid, where some adult would be like, "You're not sorry that you did it. You're sorry that you got caught." And like,
Exactly.
that makes sense. I also wonder if in the copyrighted magic art thing, is the art copyrighted to the artist or to the company that paid the artist to make it?
I think
That's a good question, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe somebody else out there
not
knows.
really- I think it's a mix of both, right? Like they have like legal copyright, but like
I don't
they have
know.
like the artist copyright.
Right. They don't have the copyright over the artist's entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because like sometimes like you can make something for a company, but as soon as it's made, you don't own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Like they can do whatever they want because it's theirs now.
Yeah, it's like any actors for Disney, for example.
Mhm.
You act for Disney, guess what? You don't own your likeness anymore. You don't own your
Yeah,
Yeah.
face.
basically. The movies you worked in, like that work, that's theirs. Like,
Yeah, they pay you to do it once. Maybe you get some royalties for a few years, but like
Hmm.
after that, they own it, and they can sell as much stuff that has you in it without your consent as much as you want because
And it
that's
could be
how.
whatever.
I mean,
Yeah,
like varies with contract to contract, I suppose. But usually, yeah,
probably
like
contracts are
they can
some wily shit,
definitely
dude.
like like if they like now a lot of people like actors and stuff are going through that. A lot of voice actors don't like that their likenesses are being stolen, their voices are being replicated.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
think about it this way: if you pay an actor to do some work for you, you own all the voice stuff that they just did. And then if
Mm.
you run all that stuff through an AI algorithm to synthesize their voice, and there you go. You don't need to hire the actor again. You already got everything you need. Like, I think we're going to see a lot of lawsuits and regulations set up in the future along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, as the technology gets like easier and easier to use and better at what it does, they're like they could take all the movies that already exist and be like, we don't need actors anymore. We got the CGI to replicate literally everybody. Like,
We
How
can
far
take a
away
facial
is.
scan from a picture
yeah,
Oh,
and
like
dude.
replicate your likeness.
Uh,
that's the future we're going towards, and like, there's not really
there's a
anything we
movie
can
that
say
was made
about
not too long ago. I forget the name of it, but they used the face of a dead actor. Like, this
it.
guy's.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It
you know
was
the one.
the newest Flash movie.
Oh yeah.
Did they
They
do that too?
used they used like AI to replicate the fucking Christopher Reeves Superman.
Mhm.
They used the AI to replicate his face.
I hadn't heard about that one, but I know these kind of things are becoming more and more common.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm wondering is like AI is becoming such a big thing. Where will we go within the next few years? I think the singularity for technology is fast approaching because of the advent of AI and how much
Yeah.
it's progressed in the last few years. Like, we got all these
Oh
artists
yeah.
out there, and I do sympathize with you guys. Like, it sucks that your stuff is being used without your consent for things, and in some cases you're absolutely right, it is your copyright, and in other cases sucks to you, buddy, it sucks to be you, dude, because like someone
Look,
else owns your work.
look, bro. Like we all
It's
knew
like the
what the
whole
internet
NFT
was.
craze.
Like it's the
Mm,
internet, bro. Like anything on the internet is like once you put it out there,
yeah,
unless your name is slapped onto the middle where nobody can.
Yeah, as long as you have a big old
You know what
watermark
I
right
mean?
across it.
I
There's
always
not
sign all
really.
my shit, you know.
It's a hard thing to get into. It's not like 100 years ago where you're like, this is a one of a kind art piece that I spent weeks to make. Like, you know,
Now someone could take a picture of it, run it through a scanner, and just
yeah,
replicate the whole thing.
right.
I mean, dude, we did something similar for some of the character art for the campaign where we didn't steal art outright because we're not scumbags. We just had some of our party members who like to do some art, some drawing, some hand drawn stuff. We wanted to
Yeah.
touch things up so that it's more digitally presentable and clean because you take a
Mhm.
picture of something you drew with your iPhone, like the paper's gonna look all like, you get the wrong glare, a
Yeah.
little
And
grainy.
then you get every
You get that kind of yellowing
picture.
effect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you get
that
every
yellowish
like
effect from the paper. It's just like, not doing the picture any justice. So with the
yeah.
AI upscaling, you just like, okay, boom, boom. It just kind of like
Mhm.
does its own few steps to digitize, maybe make a couple alterations, and you can even add a couple prompts in there to be like, oh, I forgot to do this thing. Make the hair black. I wasn't
Right.
good with the red.
And people think about that and they get like controversial because they're like, oh well, because you used AI, like that's basically what it's for. That's a tool.
AI is there to help you.
Yeah.
Like,
For
It,
look at
people
chat.
who aren't digitally art inclined, who don't have drawing pads and stuff like that,
yeah,
this is
I
a
sure as fuck can't
great
draw.
option for them. Like the art that we got made by Forrest, that's like a Franciana draw, like it looks really good. Like,
yeah. It looks good, and it's faithful to what Sienna made in the first place.
yeah.
Right.
I think that's what she was, a little concerned about, and I think it makes her happy to see that they're like basically exactly the same. Like,
Yeah,
Right. It's
I know
just
that.
touched up a little bit.
Yeah, it was really just an upscale to
also,
make
the hair for
make it clean.
Micah's looks so good.
Yeah, Micah was so hyped, and then she saw the muscle definition because, like, I know when it was first drawn, she's like, "Oh, I want this to be a major muscle mommy," and
Yeah,
that shined through on the finished product quite nicely.
I
Mm.
agree. The hair was giving me like lollipop chainsaw energy.
Yeah,
Like,
it absolutely works, and I feel like that vibes with how Micah's playing and portraying the character very
yeah,
well. And this is very
agreed.
much a tool and process that a lot of D&D players are likely to continue to use at
Mhm.
their tables to produce the art that they want. I did
Yeah.
something
I
very
mean,
similar
who
with Ezra.
who doesn't want to see high quality art of their character? Bring their character to
Exactly.
life.
Yeah, I mean, you give a
Also,
general
I was gonna
outline,
ask
you know?
you, could you get Forrest to do my snail as well?
Yeah, I could do that. I'll send him the snail because the snail looked sick, dude.
Yeah. I would love if I could get like a little, small one so I could like put him onto Tonga's shoulder or something.
Super shrink it, pop him on the shoulder.
Yeah,
You
put
know
him on
what?
like Ciata's head or whatever.
I
Like,
want to
They
make an
do have
animation where it pops right up, like better, 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 better.
yeah, that'd be really cool.
they do have wrist transponder snails in the One Piece universe.
Oh,
I do know
cool.
that they're typically low
I was
range and
thinking
stuff.
that I would probably have him on like a necklace, and it would
You
be
just
like his shell
he's
on the
just
front.
chilling.
Just a
But
giant
Yeah,
conch shell.
yeah, it'd be like a big like shell
Better,
just
better,
sitting on
better.
front of his chest.
they usually keep them in pockets or something, don't they?
I don't know.
They're like pockets, or they have their own like designated spot on the
So I
ship.
was looking at the design that she did for the shell, and I was really digging it. I was like, oh
Yeah,
man,
like
that would
it
look really
has
cool.
that heavy aspects from your character as a transponder snail should, and I
Yeah,
love it. And considering how she isn't all that familiar with One Piece, I love the just how she went about it.
awesome.
And I feel like it's great to have a few people that know a lot about the One Piece world, and then newcomers.
I don't know
Oh,
shit.
the mix is fantastic because I don't have to worry about people being like, "Oh, well, that's not actually how this works," and
Yeah,
because
I like being able to ask you like, is this
Actually, that's
possible? Can I
not how.
do it? Can I overthrow this empire? Like,
Can I
yes,
overthrow the world government?
sow the seeds of deceit.
I would say yes. I mean,
That was a
dude, that's one of the
Doflamingo
reasons that
accent.
I chose the North Blue. And it's funny that you mentioned Doflamingo because he is very much a part of the North Blue history, and I had to research some of that. So there is legitimately a chance that you guys could run into young Doflamingo and his crew.
Ooh.
What is the timeline? Like, are we in the same like time period as like the One Piece time period, for example? Or like,
Yeah, like this takes place 2 years after the death of Gold Roger, who is the guy that kicked off the Great Pirate Era. So
okay, gotcha,
And when he
gotcha.
got to the island, he laughed.
How long is the story of One Piece after the death of this pirate guy?
Oh, so
Oh,
where One Piece is at now, it's like 24 years after his death. So
Okay. Oh, okay. So we're like in the very, very beginning. Gotcha.
yeah, like the dawn of the Great Pirate Era. So there's all
Interesting.
kinds of
this
pirates
is
all over the place.
before warlords, before emperors. Like,
Interesting. So is there a chance? No, probably not. We can't like run into the Straw Hat Pirates, huh?
There are a couple of them because like most of them haven't been born yet, but there are
Really?
some of them that are around.
Like their parents or something? Like-
yeah,
Well,
oh,
there
that'd be
there's
cool.
like,
a few that are older than the rest.
Right.
mm, well, there's Shanks, who was, like a child slash teenager during the beginning of the after Roger's execution. So that he would be starting out on his own crew, and then so would Buggy and
Yeah.
all of them.
Interesting.
And there's a lot more notable characters, like some admirals that you might come across. And then you also got to factor in like actual Straw Hats. Um, there would be Jimbei, Robin, and Brooke, and Frankie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Frankie would
they
just
are
be
the
like a kid going through his backstory at Water 7. Robin's in the West Blue, so y'all ain't seeing her, not a chance, unless you find a way to get into the West Blue. And
Right.
then Brooke is somewhere in the Grand Line dealing with his situation. So there definitely are there are warlords.
Oh yeah, okay. One
So
Piece is a very confusing timeline sometimes.
yeah. Well, it's one of those things where, like we've said before, when it comes to D&D, play and run what you know. And I know quite a bit about One Piece, so that's good enough. And what I don't know, I can make up. That's the cool thing about DMing in general. I can just make shit up. It's good to go.
Hell, there's time travel now.
Dude, it gets
Oh God,
ridiculous.
there's always time travel.
Yeah, there's a devil fruit that you can be like, okay, guys, I'm going to throw you 20 years in the future.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's all
that
kinds of
was
stuff.
that was a sad story.
Yikes. All
We'll see
right.
where things
Speaking
go.
of ocean fuckery, guess I should get into this week's monster.
Boom, segue.
It's almost like
We
we've
got to get
been
you a
doing this for a
stinger.
while.
I keep
I was
forgetting.
just thinking about that, man. I gotta come up with like a rhyme or something.
Mm.
That'd be cool. Do like a
Monster mayhem.
Scrim-Bimbus. So this week I want to talk about mermaids slash merfolk.
This is relevant.
This is relevant. There's always a lot of ocean fuckery. We have no idea what's going on down there. No idea what exists. There's something new being found like every other day.
Dude, this is what Lovecraft this was what Lovecraft was afraid of. Like if you look at most of H.P. Lovecraft's work, it's just a dude was afraid of the ocean. Tentacles and like fish people and like all kinds of grotesque fishy things.
Man just had a fish phobia.
Hey, some fish can be actually pretty scary.
Yeah. I'm half anglerfish, man. Look.
Exactly. I was just about to mention the anglerfish.
Yeah. So
Mm.
a merfolk had the a merfolk person had the upper body, arms, and head of a fair-featured human. From the waist up, and instead of legs, they had a fish-like tail from the hips down. Also distinguishing them from humans were the gill slits along their necks, the slight webbing between their fingers, and their pupils exhibiting an ice blue or pale silver tone.
Okay.
On average, mermen grew to be around 8 feet, 2.4 meters in length, and had broader shoulders, while mermaids grew only slightly shorter. On average, they weighed around 400 pounds, 180 kilograms, and it was unheard of for merfolk to become overweight due to their active lifestyles and possess greater strength than their physiques would imply. Which also makes sense because you're constantly existing in like the pressures of the ocean.
You're
You gotta
swimming
be like
underwater, so you gotta
really
be strong. You
strong, bro.
gotta be fit. Like
That's another
Michael
thing people
Phelps
don't
is
like
no slouch,
consider.
dude. I couldn't take him in a fight. Have you seen that dude? He's built.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like people don't consider when they're like, "Oh, they got pulled down." They're getting yanked. Like, oh man, it's crazy.
I've heard some terms for that kind of strength.
Don't say that here, unless you bleep it.
Fuck, where'd I
Oh,
put the
man.
bleep button?
So the coloration of their eyes, hair, and skin varied as much as those of humans, as to the coloration of their fins and scales. Some colorations being more common in certain areas. Merfolk across Faerun exhibited all the varied skin tones of the continent's humans. They tended towards pale pink or tan, though some around the Alhambra Sea and the Vil Han Reach had darker tones. I
Ah,
feel like if
Black
mermaids were to
Mermaids. That
Hooray
Disney
for racial
remake coming on
ambiguity.
strong now.
I feel like if mermaids really did exist, they would be like deep sea, like almost black, like or like bioluminescent.
Or
No,
translucent.
translucent. You'd a mermaid pop up and be like, "Hey, big boy." You'd be like, "Oh God, I can see your heart."
It's
The
like
only
a
reason
goat.
I don't think they'd be translucent is because they probably have scales of some kind. Like,
You gotta protect the fleshy bits.
yeah, like they would be like predators. I don't think they would have like their vitals exposed like that.
I could see kind of like a crustacean kind of like skin
Probably
like
some of them.
skeleton
Oh,
Ooh.
to deal with the deep pressures.
oh yeah, like a shrimp with like the
Yeah,
plates. Oh,
I like
interesting.
that. That kind of merfolk would be almost insectoid in nature.
Ooh,
yeah,
yeah.
because it's so limiting and the pressure is so deep.
I
Like
mean,
That
I could.
makes
That's the
sense.
thing with these. Like, you can have them adapt to like anything. Like, it's so
right,
cool.
Y'all know that
that's the
lobsters
wonder
have
of
X-ray
D&D.
vision?
Lobsters are biologically immortal.
Yes, there is actually a cult that is trying to make a Lovecraftian sized lobster just by constantly letting it molt and grow larger.
Yeah, I mean, people have been trying to use like lobster blood and stuff to like figure out how to extend the human lifespan. It's crazy.
Right. Like
It's wild.
jellyfish DNA.
Yeah,
All they're
fucking
gonna end up
horsey crab
doing
blood.
is getting Jordan Peterson on a tirade about lobsters.
The turn of the lobsters gay.
The lobsters are giving us a hierarchy, an ancient hierarchy.
So, the most common hair colors were light brown or blonde, as these helped them to better blend into their environment. The rarest of hair colors were blue and silver. These born with either were considered to have great destinies and so would be raised and watched over by their entire clan.
So,
The
like,
coloration. Yeah.
the Little Mermaid would be ostracized for being a ginger amongst all of these
Probably.
merfolk. Like, get yourself
They'd be
some
like,
actual camo hair, bitch. You need to hide from these surface dwellers.
she'd be like a very vibrant like fish. Like,
Damn.
which I guess fits her personality, I guess.
I have a working
She,
theory for that movie, and the entire theory is that the prince dude doesn't actually love her because she's a siren. The only reason that Ursula wanted that voice is because she's a siren, just like her mom. And if
Mhm.
she was to go up to the surface and start using that siren voice, Prince would just fall in love with her right away. No questions asked. Exactly like what he did when he fell in love with Ursula using her voice.
That's the point. That's why they were like, your songs are so beautiful. You're such an amazing singer. Blah 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 blah.
look at this stuff.
She's a siren,
Isn't
yeah,
it neat?
and also a child. So,
The purity.
so the coloration of merfolk fins and scales range from a deep Kelly. I don't know what that means. Deep Kelly green
Kelly
to a
Green.
brilliant silver. I don't know.
Maybe like a kelp green. Maybe that's what they meant.
Kelpie green. Though some colorations outside of this could be found. Makes sense. Fit into whatever surroundings. Some Cerosian merfolk exhibited brighter colors and even scales that were striped or speckled, while some merfolk in the Alember Sea or Wilhelm Reach had scales that ranged from copper to golden.
Oh, like a dragon.
Oh, yeah. In terms of clothing, merfolk often adorned themselves with shells and coral, and Cerosian merfolk in particular had a widespread practice of tattooing across their culture.
That sounds cool.
That does sound really
I
cool.
do like the merfolk tattoo idea.
So let's talk about real life folklore, right? That's always fun.
Didn't they start out as like what is it? Manatees?
Yeah, people kind of believe them to be like manatees.
Sorry, I had the autistic urge to see what Kelly green looked like, and it's just like your most basic green.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Green.
Kelly green just sounds like some.
Okay. Interesting. Like an Eagles jersey.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, Kelly green just sounds like some overweight news reporter.
And now to Kelly Green.
Hi,
guys.
I'm coming to you live from the scene.
This fictional news reporter is getting fucking roasted, bro.
If there's a real Kelly Green out there reporting on the news, I'm not sorry. This is just funny.
Get rocked.
Your entire existence is made up by me, and as your creator, I should apologize.
I hereby sentence you to the butt of the joke.
Oh my god. So,
The ultimate
in folklore, a mermaid is an aquatic creature with the head of the upper body of a female human with the tail of a fish. Mermaids appear in folklore of many cultures worldwide, including Europe, Asia, and Africa. Mermaids are sometimes associated with perilous events such as floods, storms, shipwrecks, and drownings. In other folk traditions, or sometimes within the same traditions, they can be benevolent or beneficent, right? Bestowing boons or falling in love with humans.
Give me that boon. Look at these boons. Aren't they neat?
The male equivalent of the mermaid is the merman, also a familiar figure in folklore and heraldry, although traditions about and sightings of mermen are less common than those of mermaids. I would imagine, like, if you think about, tribal human species, right? Like, the men are probably like the hunters or the gatherers.
So maybe they're out there hunting whales. So like while the men are whaling.
Alternatively, I could also see like if the men are the ones that like raise and protect like the tribal
Like
ground,
like a
the
seahorse.
nest.
Seahorses. Yeah,
they like
that's
protect the nest while the females hunt. That's why they're always like, the ones that are seen. I would kind of believe that.
Maybe they don't swim as far because, like, with the mermen are like top half fish, bottom half man. Which that'd be a bizarre thing to see coming up on the beach. You just be big old half fish up top, all man down bottom.
Jesus,
I'm a fish.
Dick sliding through the sand.
That'd be the most uncomfortable thing to introduce to your party as a merman in a setting.
Put it out of its misery, please.
What in God's name is that?
Hi, my name is Kennel, and I am a merman.
The Western concept of mermaids as beautiful, seductive singers may have been influenced by the sirens of Greek mythology, which were originally half bird-like, but came to be pictured as half fish-like in the Christian era. Historical accounts of mermaids, such as those reported by Christopher Columbus during his exploration of the Caribbean, may have been sightings of manatees.
Wait, Columbus has reports of mermaids?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Shit,
people think
what?
that he just saw like manatees and stuff, and he was suffering from like the sea madness, and all that stuff. But
sea madness makes you down bad for seals and manatees.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So he had accounts on like his notes and stuff, seeing mermaids, and his crew seeing mermaids and stuff like that.
Maybe the mermaids all ran away when a bunch of down bad men just showed up, and they're like, "Yo."
Please leave us alone. We're just trying to sing on our rocks.
Would you all just stop crashing into my fucking rocks? I'm just singing over here. Like,
I just want to sing comfortably in my home.
I can't take all this death and destruction. I'm gonna go sing somewhere else.
Just like the women today, they don't want the male attention. They just
They don't.
They just want to do
So-
whatever the fuck they want.
Well, they want the right male attention, and let's just face
Yeah,
it, no
yeah.
kings are sailing the ocean blue.
No.
They're just a bunch of grubby sailors.
All the Viking kings are gone.
All the Vikings. No,
Yeah.
I'd say that the
Now
real
it's nothing
fantasy
but
of the Little
Vikings.
Mermaid is a prince on a ship.
Yeah, pretty much. So sliding back to the Forgotten Realms here, Merfolk generally lived in isolated settlements within coral reefs or cliffs that were honeycombed with numerous passages and rooms. Some lived within underwater cities of their own design, built from coral, rocks, and shells. Such communities tended to have netted pens where fish were kept like livestock. They trained aquatic animals,
That's
such as
such a
giant
funny
seahorses, to serve as their guardians or steeds. They were particularly known to train barracudas for this purpose, having 3 to 18 protecting their communities. Merfolk were an omnivorous people, both harvesting underwater plant life and hunting aquatic animals to eat. They were also known to herd and raise certain species of fish, much like surface dwellers did with livestock.
All right. Okay.
Now they are only like a CR 1/8, so they're pretty basic. They're
really?
basically humanoid. Yeah, they have the same abilities as like human
I would
tribes.
imagine their strength would be higher.
Yeah, so looking at their stats here, they have a strength of 10, dexterity of 13, constitution of 12, intelligence of 11, wisdom of 11, charisma of 12. So pretty basic. Their only real trait is the amphibious.
Yeah,
But-
I'd say I'm going to get the jump on the IRL fight score this time. I'm out. I'm done. I don't do well with water unless you give me a
Anything
battery and some
underwater, I'm
jumper
done.
cables. I ain't winning this one.
Yeah, no. I mean, they were generally known to wield crossbows, daggers, javelins, nets, and tridents. They also use grappling hooks and perform attacks on the surface dweller ships.
Holy like they're the scorpion of the water. Get over here.
Like you're just walking around your ship and look over to see your guy, like, I don't know, watching the wheel. You see a fucking grappling hook come out of the water, hit him in the chest, rip him off the
Yeah.
ship.
Ah!
You're like, what the fuck? Yo.
I get the Wilhelm scream and everything.
Yeah. Like, what do? You're like,
We're out in the
Jerry?
middle of nowhere.
Jerry.
What does the party do if you have that as your encounter? Like, harpoons come up, they're ripping people off the ship and drowning them down into the deep. Like, if one of the players gets hit with that, like, how are you getting out of that? You better pray it's not one of the wizard or something.
Hey, be happy you
Like,
guys got a
get the
fish
cleric
man on board.
harpoon.
I'm diving straight in the water, throwing hands. You just
Yeah.
like, it's like a dark night on the seas. You just see flashes of light beneath the water surface. Like bodies start floating up.
Dude, that sounds terrifying. Why do we not see more horror movies like that?
Oh,
It's just a
man.
moonlit night, and you see bright flashes.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
suddenly-
and as far as they're
that's kind
concerned,
of how I'm picturing Tonga, like fighting in the water. Like,
yeah, dude, Tonga's got it. But
I kind of want him to have like the way his bioluminescence, works. As he
Yeah.
attacks, it's like flash, flash. Like,
oh yeah, like it pulsates with as his blood pumps.
yeah, with like the tempo of the battle.
You know what? That's cool. I like the sound of that.
That's kind of what I'm picturing.
Like as his heartbeat increases, the flashing.
Yeah, or like it'll flash a different color.
Yeah.
Mm.
In base D&D, there's not that many aquatic races. I mean, you do have Tritons for the most part. I think there might be like one or two other aquatic races, but there's really not.
Yeah,
many.
you got Merfolk. They are a playable race. You have the what are they called? The Kuatoa.
Kuatoa. I don't think they're necessarily playable because that'd be so broken. But Tritons,
Yeah, I could see it.
because those are the big
What else
one.
do you have? You got God, I don't even know.
Yeah, see, it's few and far between. I mean,
Dude,
how
more
often
underwater campaigns or like ocean side campaign would be really cool.
Dude, I was in a underwater campaign at one point playing a cleric. And
Interesting.
yeah, moral of the story is never accept a sponge from a sea goblin.
Oh,
Well, you see, underwater, how the DM ruled it is, if you were going to drink alcohol, it would be through a sponge because like you're underwater.
okay.
So
Makes sense.
they store alcohol and things like that in sponges. So they'd have
Okay.
you want to take a
SpongeBob
shot.
having a great time.
Yeah, so your shots would be done that way. So it's
Oh,
almost
you like put the sponge in your mouth, squish it or
yeah,
whatever,
you
suck
squish it.
it or whatever.
Yeah, like that.
Oh,
Just give it a little squeeze and a
makes
slurp.
sense. Interesting.
Yeah, I had my Triton, which was sentient because everyone had a sentient item, and me playing the
Cool.
cleric, I got bitched at for drinking. I thought it was funny. Like, dude, I didn't expect my magic item to start nagging me about my practices.
But yeah, that is today's monster, Merfolk / mermaids.
What do you think?
What's your guys' opinion? Do you think mermaids exist or existed at some point?
I'm not gonna rule it
can-
out. I mean, as much of a joke as aquatic ape theory kind of is, because there was that whole documentary that happened years ago. You know
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that one. But I would say that, as with most cryptozoology and mythology, I want to believe.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Like I can definitely see the evidence of people seeing and believing them. Like
Mhm.
with manatees from below, they do have kind of knees.
Yeah.
So
They have
it
knees?
can be
Yeah,
a little bit.
A lot of like ocean creatures have like bones that they shouldn't have. You know what I mean? Like structures that they shouldn't really have.
Yeah, you're just like how can you move like that?
Like, why does this fish have a pelvis? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that, but
also, I've
it's
been thinking about this
interesting.
a lot lately. Cephalopods, like octopuses and squids,
Yeah.
they're way smarter than we even like know they
Oh,
are. And that
they
got me
are.
thinking about like giant squids. We know they exist; they're real, right?
Yeah, but they're
Their brains
exceptionally
are
rare.
massive, but like that makes me think about like how smart they probably are. They're avoiding people like the fucking plague. They don't want to
Yeah.
be seen.
Right. There are
They're,
very few recorded
they're
meetings of
probably
giant squid.
so smart, dude.
Yeah,
Like they're probably smart. Like
they'd
that's why I
have
think
to be
about like
very
if aliens.
aware, you know?
So I think if aliens exist, like they're probably in the ocean. First of all, they're probably fucking around with the squids and the octopuses, that are in the deep oceans.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you hide down deep enough in the ocean with a strong enough structure, ain't nobody messing with you. Like, we send our brightest and our best, and definitely not brightest and best, but next thing you know, crunch your makeshift submarine goes boom, pop, gone. Because that was all
Yeah.
over the news last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Titan
The
Oh
Titan.
yeah.
with a Logitech controller.
Rest in peace, man.
Not even Mad Cat.
Because-
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Mad Cat's where it's at.
Right?
The best third party controller.
Yeah, we have third-party controller standards here. They're low, but they're standards.
Yeah, and like it gets me think like we don't really, they went to the moon once allegedly and never went back. They were like, fuck that. Right? They went a little bit down into the ocean, stopped fucking with it. They were like, fuck that shit. Let's go somewhere else.
Right.
Why isn't that like flagged to anybody else? Why are they dodging the closest and most like logical things to research? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they should
there
be way
are
more
some
focused
fundamental issues with that.
on like the ocean. Like we have no idea what's really going on. Like
Right.
crazy.
Like we have not explored the deepest parts of the deepest trenches.
Bro, it's crazy.
I mean, exploring
But
the
then
deepest
again-
parts could make for a great campaign idea, honestly.
That would be really cool.
Because then you could just be super creative. Like, obviously, you have full creativeness as a DM, but like, you could throw out the wildest made up
Yeah,
sea shit.
I would love like just like the only real like character creation like stipulation would be like you have to pick an aquatic race of some kind. And then be like, oh man, that would get my blood pumping. And be like, oh my god, I could pick so many things.
Dude, the
There's
character
so
creation
many
for the
different sea
Fishman was
creatures.
a lot for you to begin with because you had like so many archetypes. And then we just proceeded to homebrew a new one for you because you're like,
I'm so glad
just so
that I
much
had the
imagination.
idea for like the angler and then like the Atlanticus. I was like, oh, and like the artist blended it so perfectly. It made me so happy.
Yeah, the artist you hired for that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Where would you guys stand on the IRL fight score for this one? Could you take a merfolk in a fight?
Let's say on land versus in the water. Right? Let's give one.
Yeah, because I think those are fundamentally very different arguments.
Because they are aquatic or amphibious, so they can breathe water or air, right? So I would say 1v1 on land. They're pretty big. Like they're probably about 8 feet tall, right?
I think it'd be a tough one because
It would
strong.
depend on their like
Yeah.
how fast they are on
I give it
land.
like a. I mean, their stats aren't that impressive. I give it like a 6. Like it could go either way. I think.
I think on land I can take a 7. If it's in the water,
Yeah.
forget about it. Like
Yeah, no,
I've
no
nearly,
chance. No
I've had
chance.
about a dozen instances of almost drowning in my life. I even had like I was helping a friend out with a thing one time and had an entire dock collapse on me. I'm like, dude, I got enough
Jesus.
water drama to last a lifetime.
I have essentially 30 seconds before I lose. So like, no, like
On land, I could definitely curb stomp a merfolk, but in the water, yeah, nah. I can't swim.
yeah, I'm not really
There's
sure
no
on
way.
swimmer.
I think it's one of those things where if I'm going at it with a merfolk, you know, we'd have that mutual understanding that I cannot I can't best you in the water, you can't best me on land. Let's just go out for some sushi,
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, definitely on land we have the advantage, right? Like they don't even have legs. Get wrecked. So like,
I mean, it
Get
really
wrecked,
is
fish boy, you don't
overstating
got
the
legs.
the obvious at that point because we all know how that
Yeah.
goes.
Obviously, your home turf. You got the dub.
Yeah, like a real
You know,
Kevin McAllister type.
It's not going to be easy on land, man. I'm not giving you
Yeah.
an easy dub. Oh man.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I would
Alright.
say, yeah, that I think that adequately sums it up right there. That maybe if I got like some salt. No, salt's not gonna work. That's slugs. What am I thinking?
Let's get that wasp knife with a CO2 injection.
Holy shit. That escalated quickly.
Ah!
How would you flavor that as a magic item? That'd be quite the dagger. Would that be like a
Like a dagger inscribed with like a scroll of like gust of wind.
yeah, like a gust inscribed dagger where it's just like it's inflating the person you're stabbing. That'd be
jeez.
brutal, dude. Call it thunder damage at that point.
Did Thunder Force?
Yeah. Either way, that sounds reasonable. It'd be brutal.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I would not want to be hit by.
Yeah. But as it stands, we do have our homebrews, Sam.
Generic realm.
Generic realm.
Generic realm. Generic realm. Lots of fun. Excellent.
I love it. The generic realms. I guess I can start things off this week. Right now, I'm looking at you know what? Let me preface this with a little something. Sam, when was the last time you saw a good bard specific feat. Exactly.
Oh, you know what? I saw a Bard College thing that I liked recently. Does that count?
No, that's a subclass. I'm
Oh
talking.
shit!
We don't see enough specific feats for classes in current 5th edition. You know, feats for specific races and classes seem to be the stuff of yesteryear. So I present to you from the mind of Johnny MHD. I think we might have featured some of his work before, straight from the abyss of Reddit. So here we go. We got
Oh boy, Reddit.
Arcane Crescendo. I gotta learn to pronounce things. So
It's okay,
prerequisite,
Bruce is hard.
gotta be a bard. Your spellcasting builds to a powerful crescendo, increasing your charisma score by 1 to a maximum of 20. When you cast a spell at first level or higher, you gain a crescendo point. You can spend any number of these points, up to a maximum of 10 at a time, to gain a bonus to 1 damage roll of your bard spells, equal to the
Okay.
number of crescendo points spent. Unused points reset after a long rest. So every time
That's
you use a
pretty good.
bard spell, you can get an extra point to tack onto something like, say, your vicious mockery. So you could be like, okay, whenever you cast one of these things. Oh wait, not vicious mockery because that's not first level, but any of your other stuff on your bard spell list that does damage, like there's a lot of psychic stuff, you could amp it up just a little bit more, just a tad bit. I think it's pretty
Just
balanced for a
teeny
feat,
tiny.
you know.
Yeah, that seems pretty
You
cool.
probably would have liked that on Clyde, hit somebody up with dissonant whispers or something, and then being able to, like, I've done a certain number of spell damage today. I'm going to tack on what I've accumulated and add that to it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's good for a combat-oriented campaign and rewards timing.
I agree.
And this
Timing
one
is key.
comes with a sister feat, a separate thing entirely. But basically, this one says it's called Phantom Chorus. Your music conjures ethereal voices to aid you. Increase your charisma score by 1 to a maximum of 20. As a bonus action, summon a phantom chorus that follows you for 1 minute. While active, your bardic inspiration die increases by 1 size. For example, going from a D8 to a D10, or a D10 to a D12.
Mhm.
Once per long rest, at any point using your reaction, the chorus can perform a song that either heals all allies within 30 feet for 2d8 points or causes all enemies within range to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or be frightened until the end of their turn.
That's actually a
Okay.
very good.
That does sound really good.
Yeah, just imagine just jamming out and then you summon a ghost chorus and just like, maybe if you're playing it like a Jack Black or like kind of a character, then all of a sudden, boom, you just have an entire band pop up behind you, all spectral and everything. And you
They
just
take
start,
air guitar to a whole new level.
yes, you
Oh,
just start
true.
shred.
I like that.
This is having an air guitar battle.
I do like the idea of air guitar battles. We need to bring that into the foray.
Those are a whole like contest in and of themselves.
I would imagine.
It is just fake air guitar battles.
Dude, if we ever catch any beef with anybody out there on the internet with this show, air guitar battle or children's card game, I don't care which. Let's go, dude.
We'll work this out like men.
Oh, yes.
We'll settle our battles like real men using cardboard and
That's
imaginary point systems.
Listen, if
Hell
you got
yeah.
something to say, I'm going to tell you
Just
right
like
now, you're a
God,
third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
Whoa. All right, calm down. No need to get
Them's fighting
aggressive.
words.
Holy shit.
Okay, but
I thought we were having a playful dispute.
Yeah. Thought we were selling this like men, not animals.
dude, I am so hyped for AR to get to a point where people can like, what the fuck ever happened to the Google Glass? I was expecting people to be dueling each other in the streets with their smartphones and Google Glass.
Oh my god, dude, the future. I'm just waiting. Oh my god. I've been reading like, I like the lit RPG books, right?
Yeah,
Real
yeah,
quick tangent. But like there's this one where they were playing a game that's like an AR, like they played through like their phone, and
yeah.
it's like they had like these glasses that they wore that would project it into like so there was people like walking around like having like Pokemon style like fights in the street. It was so fucking cool. The future.
Yeah. So like if you have your AR glasses, you can see people playing pretend.
That'd be awesome, man.
I am very disappointed that we haven't seen anything like that really step up. I mean, the best thing we got in AR in recent years was Pokemon Go, and let's just face it, that wasn't all that impressive. No one
There
really
is
uses
a Monster
that.
Hunter one that is apparently pretty crazy.
There was also a Pikmin one too for a little while.
Talk about Pikmin.
True.
Dude, I'm not Japanese.
Sorry to all the Pikmin fans out there, I guess. Like all two of you.
Yeah, those two people pay a lot of money to Nintendo to keep it in one of those top tiers.
Today I present.
They pay a lot of money to
Unfortunately,
collect
I couldn't
vegetables.
find the owner or the maker of this weapon. So if anyone can find out, let us know so we can give them the love they deserve.
People need to sign their work.
Yeah. It looks like they tried to, but it's just, a random blur of characters at the end. So that's interesting.
I think that might be the coordinates for. Oh, I see what happened.
Yeah.
It looks like they were setting this up in. The name escapes me because I am dumb right now. It looks like they were using HTML to set everything up, and then they had a little string of code that fucked up at the end there for a image, and that image may very well have been the signature or something or other.
True. That's what I figured.
Yeah, because that looks like code right there.
If anyone knows who made this spell cleaver weapon, let me know. So this is a weapon hog splitter. Looks kind of like a long meat cleaver with some runes on the blade.
Yeah.
Legendary requires attunement. It says 1d8 slashing with a weight of 3 pounds. Light, finesse, versatile, and hurl. So I guess hurl is thrown. 2d4. So this blade was once used as a tool to hunt and execute criminal magic users. Magic runes along the blade became visible when its arcane features are used. So, feature 1, hurl. If one hand is free, you can use your action to throw the weapon utilizing both your hands, range 20 to 60. Okay, so that makes sense to go like, whoosh. That's cool. So next up, we have spell cleave. When a creature you can see makes a spell attack against you, you can use your reaction to attack the spell. Make an attack roll with spell cleaver. If your attack roll is higher than the attack roll made against you, the blade cleaves the spell, absorbing the damage. The first time you hit with a melee attack in your next turn, the blade releases the absorbed energy against the target. This additional damage is the same type and damage die of the original spell.
I like it.
I like that too. Next, we have Sunder. If you hit a creature with an object with this weapon, you can choose to cast a dispel magic spell against the target as part of the attack. The spell is cast at 3rd level, and the ability check bonus for the spell is your proficiency modifier.
A very anti-mage kind of weapon. I like that concept, and if you throw that on a bad guy, on your BBEG, have him facing down the party full of spell slingers, and there's just like, boom, he's just cutting through this, and maybe someone eventually realizes
close combat heavy.
Yeah, maybe someone eventually realizes, oh shit, this guy's actually cutting our spells,
and then using them against you.
Yeah, like that's vicious. This is prime bad guy magic item to loot after a battle.
So next up, speaking of countering, when you see a creature casting a spell, you can use your reaction to make one weapon attack against a creature in range. If you hit, Spell Cleaver cast counter spell, potentially interrupting the casting of the spell. The spell is cast at 3rd level, and the ability check bonus for the spell is your proficiency modifier. Once you use this feature, you cannot use it again until you complete a long rest. So we have counter spell, we got dispel magic, we got spell absorption.
Mm.
Last but not least, we have Relentless Hunter. Spell Cleaver allows you to sense the presence of any magic portal within 30 feet of you and the lingering rift scar left by any portal. Misty Step, Thunder Step, Dimension Door, Teleportation Circle, ley lines, banishments, conjurations, etc. that have been used in the last hour. This effect can penetrate most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. If you discover the
Yeah.
rift scar of a recently used portal, you can use your action to slice Spell Cleaver down the scar. This action cleaves open the portal, which remains open to the original destination until the end of your next turn.
Dude, you
Oh,
know what that makes me
geez.
think? Like Shaolin Showdown, like the Tiger Claw thing.
That's
Mm.
fucking cool. Being able to follow people who are like, we got to teleport out of here. He's like,
I love the idea of
man.
a magic item just slicing the fabric of reality to create a portal. That's just
dude,
so
I
cool.
imagine like your party like escapes. They're all out of breath. Some of them are half on the ground. They're like, they see the portal close behind them. They're like, we're safe. So they see the tip of a blade stick out of this midair.
Here's Johnny.
And
Like,
just cleave it right back open.
They're like, you guys thought you
dude,
could escape.
major
used their
Jason
last-
vibes here. Like he just
Oh man. The party used their last big spell slot to cast his teleportation circle.
they try to get out,
Mm.
and a bad guy like this, give him magic resistance just to really be a
That's
problem.
really good. They're like, I was high. I can picture this from like a magic bounty hunter.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Oh, what would you name a guy like that?
If he has the spell cleaver, it's got to be the Mage Reaper.
Ooh. Maybe either
uh.
Mage Reaper or or the Mage is it
The Wizard's Woe.
Oh,
Wizards. Whoa. Yeah, that's not bad.
the Woe of Mistra.
The Mage Reaver.
There you go.
Yeah,
Reaver and Cleaver do be rhyming.
Yeah, Reaver, like the Magic
I like
Reaver.
I give this a 10 out of 10. Honestly, I like it a lot.
Yeah, I do.
That's a definite ad for anything that.
Yeah. This is something like if somebody like a melee character picks this up, this is just useful. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah. For your marshals, fantastic.
Yeah.
But I see the most utility you can get out of this being for your bad guy, because immediately I'm looking at this and like,
Yeah.
too many 5e parties are caster heavy. This is made to be a problem, and you can make anything your problem with that. And
Yeah.
like I could
But this one-
imagine
I'm
maybe
picturing
like
you put this on like a Hexblade like warlock character. Now you
Ooh.
got something disgusting. Like,
like a Hexblade Githyanki, like a multiversal mage hunter.
oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
I was hired from the far realms to hunt mages down. Oh my god.
Yes. In fact, have like a trio,
Oh,
and they
okay.
each have this.
This is the standard end of the show. Give the DMs the plot to ruin their games energy.
Yes. And as we do here at Dungeons and Talk Shows, we will incentivize DMs to burn it all down. But but
most importantly,
I
have
love
fun.
it. Yeah, most importantly, kill your players with kindness.
Yeah.
Have fun
Give
while you
them the
ruin their
most-
favorite character.
Please don't ruin everything.
Terrorize them with the joy of a game well spent.
Yeah, I do like the this big like bad that's just such a problem that it pursues the party, like something
So
they
the
straight can't
the
handle.
hog splitter cleaver. I need to look this up real quick. Oh, they're
I'd say
fucking
that this
big.
might even be even
There's
better
like a
as a
nemesis.
dual wielded weapon.
They're big.
It's like a nemesis kind of deal where it's
Yeah,
an
so it's a
overlurking
one-handed
boss.
axe, but it's long enough for you to two-hand it.
Yeah, it says it's got the light, finesse, and versatile properties, and it says
So-
hurl. So I'm assuming hurl refers to the throne property.
Yeah, you
So
could throw it like a fire axe. Like,
I imagine whoever wields this has got two.
oh man, imagine Tonga has this. Good luck, mage.
Just imagine like you get your hand. It's like, okay, he throws one of them, and the party manages to steal it, and it's one of the only ways to fight back.
Oh yeah, they're like, whoa, but it's attunement, so
Well, get it out of his hands all the same. You can't let this boy
Yeah.
have it.
yeah. Once you've seen it in action, you can't be allowed to keep it.
Right. You have to find a way to counteract it if
Yeah.
there is one.
Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire, fight magic with magic, anti-magic with anti-magics.
Yeah.
I'm gonna counter your spell with this counter spell after you counter my spell.
I want to see that
Yep.
stack in Baldur's Gate.
I do believe, if we don't have anything else, that pretty much ends us up.
All right, Scrim, where can people find you?
I mean, I have a TikTok that I post occasionally on. This is at Scrim-Bimbus.
At the party.
I have a I have a Twitch that I occasionally stream on, but that's also at Scrim-Bimbus.
Nice,
But
nice.
I'm also in
Consistency.
yeah.
We will have to post your links in the description then.
Yeah. I welcome all, and just like to have fun.
So, note to anyone that checks him out: have a sense of humor before you go in, otherwise you might just be disappointed. Might be too funny.
I don't know about that, but
Overselling.
Give him the clout, man.
but I do appreciate it nonetheless.
Of course,
All
of
right.
course. It's great having you. It's always fun to hang out with you. Can't wait for tomorrow's session.
And
Yeah,
as always,
I'm
once
excited.
Our
all that's
plans are
all set,
gonna make us rich.
the get play D&D. That's the get rich quick scheme right there.
I mean,
But
look
I
at
was talking about
Critical
rich
Role.
in game, man.
Yes, clearly the same level of is Critical Role. This one voice actor that has 2 audiobooks under his belt and a relatively dead Discord. Okay, gotcha.
Hey, Matt Mercer doesn't have a podcast. Yes, he does.
But Matt Mercer doesn't have these problems.
Yep.
Dude, make that the catchphrase. I bet Matt Mercer doesn't have to deal with players walking in and burning down the whole campaign.
He definitely does. Or did. I don't know.
Listen, that Orion does not speak for all Orions.
That is true. You have to represent them, man. You're the one and only you can.
Well, listen, maybe we should have Orion on the show. Which Orion's
episode.
Orion? Give
Well,
him a redemption arc.
Oh, but yeah, for our next episode being our anniversary episode, let us know what you guys, want from us. If you want us to do a Q&A, you want to know more about us, play games with us,
I'd like to
anything.
hear more from any of our listeners as is, because although our listener base is relatively small, I do from time to time we do get comments and stuff, and love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure people have a lot of D&D related questions that we haven't hit, or whatever.
Yeah, topics that haven't been touched.
Right. Exactly.
Well, there's a million and one topics, and I will joke about any of them.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We are Dungeons and Talk Shows. We know some things, but mostly we're nerds. You know?
I'll have you know I have an approximate knowledge of many things.
There you go. That's good.
I have
That's
a
all
lot
we
of
try
knowledge of
to.
useless things.
He's
That's
got
all
an
we try to
approximate.
impart. You know, at the end of this episode, I hope you learned something.
Certainly hope so. But we're nerds. What do we know? Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend.
Have a good one, everybody.
Bye bye.